Alright everybody, I guess it's a good afternoon for those of you who are in the US. Elsewhere in the world, good evening, good morning. Today, obviously, is a very big day in the world of football. We have a World Cup final. I've done this video already twice. Unfortunately, it did not turn out the way I wanted it the first time, and the second time I did a great video, and of course there's no audio. So as I'm still learning, I'm trying to improve my skills, and sometimes the technology doesn't always work, or I guess I can be blamed for that. I probably screwed it up somehow. But alright, well, we have two big teams, Germany, Argentina, going for all the marbles, the whole enchilada today. I think if you ask most fans around the world what's kind of the trophy that they dream of, I mean, obviously with players, and if you're a fan and you wanted to play soccer, football, what would it be? And I think, except for maybe like the US, Canada, maybe parts of Finland, Sweden, places like that, they probably go ahead and say like the Stanley Cup. And I think the Stanley Cup probably be a really great trophy to have for a day, because go ahead, fill up with a bunch of champagne, go crazy. Maybe I take mine to Chipotle and fill it up with Chipotle and or like guacamole. I think guacamole from Chipotle would probably be perfect inside there. Just have a big old fiesta. But this is the big one today. It's a difficult one to predict, and the reason being is because we don't really know what we're going to get from both teams. And I know everybody says like, oh, Germany's going to go in and just annihilate Argentina, but really, it's my water, cheers. Really, is Germany really going to annihilate Argentina? I'm going to go with a no. I know they had a great game against Brazil, but in examining Brazil versus the Dutch, I think it was pretty evident that the Brazilians really weren't up to snuff. Something happened after that Colombia game, or maybe in the middle of the Colombia game, and it wasn't just Neymar's injury, but the Germans are a machine. I think Gary Lineker said, football is a game of 22 men playing, and at the end, the Germans win. I think maybe I'm paraphrasing it too much, but Germans come in with a strong team. My keys for the game, for Argentina, really has to be Javier Mascherano and the defense, Di Michelis included. They've looked fantastic this tournament. They've only conceded 3 goals, which is a terrific number, and I think 2 of those were against Nigeria, and 1 was in the first game. But that defense has been very stout, obviously protecting Sergio Romero, who hasn't had a lot of first-team action for Monaco. So they've got to stand strong, because that Thomas Müller, Miroslav Klose, and the rest of the Germans, they're going to have their opportunities. It's just what kind of quality opportunities will the Argentinians allow them to have? And my idea is that if Mascherano can have a game of games like he had against the Dutch, I think they can really limit what the Germans are able to do. For the Germans, I think the midfield. Their midfield with Mesut Özil, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Sami Khedira, and the rest. I mean, Götze and Kroos and Schärrle and all of them. They have a fantastic team. But it's what kind of creativity, what kind of chances can the midfield make for those forwards? Because those forwards are really going to have a tough time with the defense unless they can come up with something interesting. So that's my key for the Germans. And I think the overall key for the game, everybody's talked about it, so I'll definitely chime in, is Messi. I follow football I'm pretty good with it. I'm up to speed on everything that's going on. I don't obviously have a chance to always watch the matches. There's a lot of matches, but I gotta say, I've never actually seen Messi actually put together a game, where everybody's just like, oh my God, Messi. And I know he's done it for Barcelona. I've never seen a match like I've seen moments of brilliance, and that's really it. That's all I've ever seen from him, are moments of brilliance, never a full game. He's really got to be the key for Argentina. I mean, I know I said Mascherano in the defense, but they've got to be able to limit the German chances. But Messi, this is really his game. The Argentinians without him are just a regular team. They don't have anything special per se. He's got to find a way to make space. He's got to find a way to involve the rest of the team, and then especially Gonzalo Higuain. And if Kuhn is playing, if if he gets into the game, and he can also go ahead and get his form that he had in early 2013, well, early 2013, like the season, so like, September, October, before he started getting injured, this Argentinian team can be very lethal. So it really has to be a day of days for Messi, that he's got to really come through. He's got to make an impact in all aspects of the game. He's really he has to take the team on his shoulders. I think the last great player to ever take a team on his shoulders, I'd have to say, would be somebody like Zinedine Zidane. When Zizou played in '98 and 2006, the French team was good, but with Zidane, he willed his team. And I haven't seen a player truly will his team to a final, to a victory, or come close to it. There have been great players, but nothing like Zidane. And Messi's got to have that game where he wills his team, absolutely wills his team to victory. And if he can do that, this would be a day for Argentina. Now, predictions. If I were a person with my own money going to Vegas and putting some money on the line, probably go Germany, 2-1, probably 2-0. And I think that's just for the fact that it's Germany, they're in a final. This has been a German machine, just lethal in all aspects. If I were going with somebody else's money, and this is really what I want Argentina to win, I would think like 3-2. They've got to strike early. They got to get that first goal early, and if they can do that German defense is going to be opened up, because we saw what Ghana can do, and I'm really hoping Alejandro Sabella will look at that match, Germany versus Ghana, and kind of see how the Ghanaians really opened up the match, because they really were able to give the Germans all they could handle. Even though the Germans tied it in the end, it really just felt as though they were, even though they came back and it was tied, it was almost like a defeat for them, only for the fact that they were just outplayed by the Africans. So the Argentinians are going to have to figure out a way to mess with the Germans, how to change their form and really give it to them. So, like I said, if I were a betting person with my own money, it would obviously be Germany. My heart of hearts, obviously, for South America to keep the cup there, or return the cup to South America. La Argentina, for the people, for the Latinos, La Raza, staying strong. So that would be the hope today. I would like to say, on a side note, I know that everybody continues to talk about how the Germans annihilated the Brazilians, but let's go ahead, now that we've had another game to see the Brazilians, and like I said, my prediction was terrible yesterday, only for the fact that I really thought the Brazilians were going to come out and play better than what they showed. Really not. But after that Dutch game, I think we saw that even though the Germans are an incredible machine, the Brazilians were just awful. The Brazilians were just awful, and even though they did score 7, I don't think that stat is as impressive now, seeing what the Dutch did. And I think if the Dutch were really playing like this were a real match for some money, something like that, the Dutch would have waxed them for more. The Dutch could have easily put up 7 on them yesterday. And really, the Brazilians really had only maybe a couple of chances, maybe. Beyond that, I don't think the performance was as thrilling now. And in hindsight, obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but that performance wasn't really that impressive. So we'll see what happens today. Again, my predictions haven't been really great. Well, I gave 2 predictions: what I want, what I think will happen, and hopefully it'll be good. Just noticing a wasp, and I forgot to fully close my door while making this. Oh well. So yeah, we will go ahead and see what happens in a couple hours. I think the ABC pre-match coverage is about to begin, so that should be good. Again, as always, subscribe. I'm going to put in the box up here, as always. Subscribe and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Contactio, and Facebook, Alejo Johnson. Subscribe. I only have 1 subscriber. I don't know who that subscriber is. Probably there's a way I should check it, but I haven't checked. But if that's you, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Inflate my ego just a little bit. It'd be cool to have some subscribers. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, anything pressing, Let me know. I have about 5 or 6 questions I gotta get to this coming week. I will get to it. I've been kind of doing some other stuff, trying to figure out this whole video thing. So once I figure it out, I'll definitely go ahead and get through all the questions. I'll hopefully have more questions, and that'd be awesome. Some of you have asked to Skype with me. That's cool too. I just have to make some time for it. Obviously, well, the people who mostly watch my videos are Russians, and so with the time difference, it's really hard right now for the fact that I, do summer school, and because I wake up so early, it's very difficult for me to do. But we'll eventually get to it. We'll figure out times and everything like that. But definitely love to hear from everybody, and let's go ahead and let's go Argentina.